Barcelona are now entering one of the most demanding phases of the season. And according to Sport, they have claimed that Hansi Flick is preparing a lot of rotations for the upcoming La Liga matches, and especially for the match against Osasuna. Barcelona are going to be entering 3 crucial games in the next 9 days, meaning that the workload is going to be immense. We're first going to have to play Osasuna on Saturday night for La Liga. Then we do have Guadalajara for a Copa del Rey match, and Barcelona will be away. And then in the last game of the year, it will be against Villarreal away from home for La Liga again. And all of this does take place within a span of 9 to 10 days. And the coaching staff have been informed that they have to do their very best to rest the key players to maintain the physical freshness of Lewandowski, Ferran, Raphinha, Yamal, and others, and to make sure that the squad is sharp all around. Because the last thing you want to do is to over fatigue one of our main players in the next 3 games and then not be ready for the new year. Because once we do come back from the small little break on January 3rd, we play against Espanyol, and then we go and face up Athletic Club on January 7th. But there are plans, and Hansi Flick for sure wants to rest his key midfield players. For example, Frenkie de Jong in the past 4 matches has not really been used much. Against Alaves, he was not used. Against Atletico Madrid, he was not used. And for different reasons, because of injuries, because of suspensions, etc. And then in the match against Real Betis and Frankfurt, he came off the bench. So very much unused. And the 2 players that have been taken over, it has been Pedri and Eric Garcia. And so it really does make you wonder whether Frenkie is now officially going to be having a promotion up to play more minutes and to maybe take on the position of Eric Garcia or Pedri, just because these 2 players need to be refreshed. I know that Pedri is a guaranteed starter in the double pivot position, but we'll see how rotation does play out there. You can have Frenkie, Eric Garcia. You can also maybe even have Frenkie de Jong and Fermin López in the double pivot position, with Raphinha or Yamal taking on the number 10 role. You can do a lot of things. Don't be surprised if Hansi Flick places a very different starting midfield up against Osasuna. We could also see Eric Garcia get slotted away from the CDM position and go back to the defensive line. Maybe play as a right back, maybe also play as a center back, and give players like Jules Koundé or Pau Cubarsí some rest. I believe that it is also safe to say that Marcus Rashford could be pushing for a start on the left wing and take away Raphinha's minutes. Over the past 4 matches, Rashford has been coming off the bench and making a huge positive impact in every game, including a standout assist for Koundé versus Frankfurt. And so his momentum is building up and giving him a great case on why he should be starting. And I'm all in for that. I think that there's a lot of benefits that Barcelona could gain if Raphinha gets dropped down to the bench. He can get rested, he can get rotated and used for later matches, and you have that competitive spirit on the left side. I also think that we're going to be seeing rotations in the number 9 position, as we have seen in the past 7 to 8 matches. Ferran Torres is leading the line, and that is the clearest decision. Lewandowski has been a little quiet as of late, and Ferran Torres has emerged as the more dynamic, reliable, and informed striker. Maybe Lewandowski does need these next 2 or 3 weeks to regenerate and to come back stronger in the year of 2026. So as you can see, there's many things that you can do with this team and make sure that everybody gets their minutes, everybody moves away from overall fatigue. And that is what we're going to be talking about during the pre-match press conference that Hansi Flick held earlier today. I want to speak on a couple of things that Flick said that is very important. He first talked about Marcus Rashford and his role, his adaptation, and his mentality. And Flick has made it very clear that Rashford's presence on the bench is not seen as a punishment, but it's just simply a reflection of Barcelona's growing squad strength. And the fact that he can say, okay, Rashford in this game, Raphinha in that game, and Rashford is going to play the next 2 games, and Raphinha is going to play the next 3 games. This is what he said. If Marcus Rashford is on the bench, it means we have a good team. We have great players in his position, and that's why things are as they are. What I can say is that he is a professional player, both in his mentality and his behavior. At the beginning, he had to adapt a little, but now he is at his best level. So I like the fact that he's doubling down on Rashford's maturity and his ability to perform in high-stake moments. Then Hansi Flick went deeper into why certain players don't get the start and why they end up on the bench, and this is what he said. When I talked to the players, I explained to them why they didn't play. When I tried to explain to Rashford why he didn't start, he said to me, no need to explain to me. The important thing is that the team wins and we get the 3 points. Anything else does not matter. This is the right mentality. I am happy to have him with us. So I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that overall, the culture within Barcelona is healthy. I know that sometimes even within ourselves, we get frustrated to see that a player that we want to see not start, maybe not even get minutes in general, but that is only because the competitive spirit is at Barcelona, and the number one thing they want to bring is results. Rashford himself is fully brought in. Flick sees him not just as a good player on the left wing position, but as a leader who has a great attitude and a type of strength that can really be transmitted towards the youngsters. Hansi Flick even spoke about Alejandro Balde, and this is what he said. Balde is a player who's still young. What I can say is that I see him him playing well. He focuses and trains hard after the injury he suffered. He has high abilities. Maybe not practical, but I believe he's capable of playing for the Spanish national team. But certainly, he needs to show that in every match and in every minute. He's fast and he's good at keeping the ball. I think he's capable of improving his crosses, but with his mentality and behaviors, he's doing very well. So clearly you can see that Flick sees Balde as a future pillar to the Barcelona project and even in the Spanish national team, but he wants him to bring more consistency. And I know that we have not talked about Alejandro Balde enough on this channel. We talk about Lewandowski so much, Raphinha, Yamal, Pedri, Frenkie, Garcia, Jules Koundé, but one of the players that I have honestly been ignoring has been Alejandro Balde, and that is because his consistency is very underwhelming. I think that he needs to be much better in terms of showing up in every match. I know that Balde has the football in him. I know that he has the capacity to become that great, entertaining, competitive left back, and Flick knows that as well, which is the reason why he's given him tough love, I would say, but at the same time giving him confidence to say that yes, he is good, but he needs to show this in every match. All in all though, Balde is essential to Barcelona's long-term tactical identity. Now lastly, the most important part, he spoke about Barcelona being on top of Real Madrid and extending a lead to 7 points by tomorrow if they do win. This is what he said: the road is still very long. We're still in December. There are plenty of matches left for us to play. It's always important to us to look at ourselves because we have the quality to win every game, and that's what we want. We still have things to improve on, and that's what we want to focus on. It has nothing to do with looking at the standings and being happy that we're on top. We have to adapt the right attitude and not just focus on that. At the end of the season, if you're in that position, you've earned it, but right now the road is still long. So Barcelona, clearly they're not chasing headlines. They're not out here trying to celebrate as early as possible and act like they won La Liga like how Real Madrid did against FC Barcelona. Barcelona are not out here to show off very early in the season. What they want is just growth and to accept the process, to accept the journey, to take it step by step and never ever be content about certain wins that you get through the season. Like if we beat Atletico Madrid 5-6-0 or Real Madrid 5-6-0, it does not mean that we have to celebrate and say that we are the best in La Liga. No, there's still games to play. The journey is still very long. And this does remind me of how Flick moved with Bayern Munich back in 2020. He's installing a Bayern type of style where you must enjoy the process first type of mentality, because once you do that, you can't really take the team off the tracks. You just have a team that just goes, you're done, you're finished, 6-0, 7-0, 1-0, 3-0, and before you know it, you're at the end of the season celebrating a title. So then Flick ended with this: I think as a team the size of Barcelona and playing in all competitions, it's good to have a good squad. I'm happy that we have players or 3 in every position, and I think that develops the players level through the competition between them 4 positions, and that's the case between Ferran Torres and Lewandowski. That's good because they always have to play at the highest level. When we see what we have done in recent weeks, whether Lewandowski or Ferran, it's ideal, especially what's happening in training, and that's a good thing. As I've always said, the quality in training has become completely different from what it was 2 months ago. This is Barcelona, and we have to train with high quality, and if we do that, we can always improve. So I'm happy. I'm happy that Flick is building a competitive ecosystem, a Barcelona where no spot is guaranteed. Gone are the days of always saying that Messi is going to be starting, that Busquets is going to be starting, that Iniesta is going to be starting for sure, or Neymar is going to be starting. We are no longer like that. Barcelona is a much different team and a much different ecosystem to what it was back in 2015, 16, 17, and 18. Flick does expect elite training standards week by week. He wants these players to perform higher and higher during training and to show that yes, anybody can lose their spot in the next game, and that is how you get a mediocre club and turn them into one of the best clubs in the world, and it is happening in real time at Barcelona. So here is going to be how I would have the starting 11 against Osasuna tomorrow night. I would have Ferran Torres in the striker position with Raphinha on the right wing position, Yamal in the 10 position, and Rashford on the left, with our double pivot being Frenkie and Pedri, and our backline being Garcia on the right back position, Barca and Gerard Martin as the center back pairing, and then Alejandro Balde on the left back position with Joan Garcia in the goalkeeper position. I know that this seems a little too out of the ordinary, too ideal for something of my liking, because I've always wanted a starting 11 with Raphinha and Rashford on the wings, but I think that a attack like this is something that we should be seeing. We do deserve it. These two players, especially Raphinha and Rashford, do deserve to have playing time together, with Yamal dictating how we maneuver through the middle. And yes, of course, there is no empirical evidence that a starting 11 like this could work, but in theory, this is our most dynamic, high energy starting 11. But let me know in the comment sections down below, what do you think about this 11, and who would you want to see start going up against Osasuna? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.